It's time for your final challenge in this section. In this challenge, you will practice everything you've learned so far in this course by creating the views necessary for the bottom views. Specifically, you'll need to create a new view called label text for the label that says either score or round, and a new view called round rect text view for the values that go beneath, that are styled with a rounded rectangle. I recommend you put the label text inside textviews.swift and test it independently before you integrate it back into background view. Similarly, I recommend you put round rect text view inside roundedviews.swift and likewise test it independently before you integrate it back into background view. I'm not going to tell you the exact styles to apply because you should be able to figure that out for yourself by looking back at Luke's design in Figma. This will be one of the hardest challenges you've had so far because it pulls together so many concepts you've learned so far in this course. But I believe in you. And don't worry, if you get stuck, you'll learn a lot by trying, and you can keep watching for the official solution whenever you're ready. Good luck.
Okay, our goal in this section is to complete the bottom part of the background view. So these gray boxes that you see right there look nice like this. And there's going to be two parts we need to add. We need to create a new text style for this that we're going to call label text. And then we need to create a new style for this number that has a border around it, which we're going to call round rect text view. Let's start with the label text. So we're going to do that inside textviews.swift. So we can just take one of these examples like slider label text, paste that here, and we'll just call this plain old label text. And let's get it down here inside the previews, label text, and then we'll just set the text here to 9 as little test. Okay, so what kind of styles are we going to need for this one? Let's go back to Luke's design. Okay, so if we scroll down here, we see the font size is 12 pixels. So that looks like that's going to be caption 1 text style. What else do we need to know? Letter spacing 1.5, that'll be the kerning. Looks like it's bold. And the color, well, it's the same color as all the other text labels. So it looks like we're going to need those 4 things. And I can either drag them in or I can type them. We've seen them enough times by now. We can probably just type these. So we're going to need bold, so I'll leave that. We need the foreground color, so I'll leave that too. We also need the kerning 1.5. And are we going to get an error there because of ordering? Maybe not. I'll keep going. And what else do we need? We need the font set to dot caption. Let me hit Command B. Pretty sure I'm going to get an error here. Okay, actually it looks like it's fine. Yeah, because bold returns a text. Foreground color also returns a text, and so that's why we're fine. I'm using Option, click to click on each one to see why that works. Okay, so that's our label text. So now we need to do the round rect text view. So go to roundviews.swift, and we'll copy one of these examples here, and we'll call this round rect text view. And the parameter we're going to want is whatever text to display. And for now, we're just going to delete all this and put text, whatever the text is. And then let's just add this to our list of preview views here. So round rect text view, and for text, we're going to put in 100. And then I'm going to update my preview with Option Command P. And we can see that it's there. Okay, so what are we going to need to style this one? So let's first style the text itself. So we got letter spacing of -0.2, looks like it's bold. The font size is 21, which looks like it's close to Title 3. It looks like this thing has a size of like 68 by 56, so we can set it to that. Frame, the text has the regular text color, and then we're going to apply an overlay, which is this rounded rect border, so rounded rectangle border. And we've already set up the colors for this when we did this one, so we can just reuse all that. So that's basically what we're going for. Let's start putting this all together. So remember we saw the kerning was -0.2. It was bold. The font was Title 3, I believe. The frame was a fixed size that we wanted of 68 by 56. And we wanted the foreground color, which is the text color. And now the fun part, we want the overlay. And the overlay is going to be that rounded rectangle with a corner radius of 21.0. And we want to stroke that with a line width of 2.0. And we want to set the foreground color to button stroke color. And if I could type that right. And there you go. Now it's looking the way we want it to. So now we're going to go back to our background view. And in our number view, we can finally start replacing this gray box with what we actually want. So instead of this gray box, let me delete that. We want a V-stack. And the spacing for the V-stack is going to be 5. We just want a little bit of space between things. And then here we can add the label text. And the text we want to display is the title, except in Luke's design, everything was uppercase, so we'll just do that. And for the number underneath there, we're going to put round rect text view, and the text is going to be the text that we're passed in. So it's already showing up from our game, because remember in our game.swift, the initial score is 0 and the initial round is 1, and we can verify that we see those numbers right there. So last but not least, let's go back to content view and see how it looks all together. And now it refreshes and we see this beautiful looking score and round. There's one more small tweak that I want to make. You can see that the slider here is a little offset. So you would expect that the thumb would be in the middle, but actually it looks like it's to the left. And the reason for that is this label has sized itself to just be big enough to fit the 100, and this label sized itself to be big enough to fit just the 1. And so obviously this one's wider, and so it's pushing it over to the left. So what we actually want is to have these both be the same width. So if we go back to our text views, and for the slider label text, we're going to set this to be a fixed frame. And remember, we've set frame a lot, and we've always specified width and height. Well, you can only specify one of them if you want. So we don't care about the height, but we do want the width to be a certain width. And I'm putting in 35, which is going to be enough to fit both. And so we'll go back to content view. And now this is, see how it's bigger than it actually needs, but this is big enough that it can still fit the 100. And so now this thumb is in the middle, nicely centered just the way we want. And our user interface is really coming together.